All right.
This
Sorry,
is
let
good.
him in. But that's it. That's as much as the song we're going to get. Just had a little technical difficulty. You're going to hear, what was that song that was just playing? Hot
The
dog,
Mickey
hot
Mouse Club,
dog,
the
hot
Mickey Mouse
dog.
Clubhouse song. Yes, that's right. It's great for all those of you with children.
We almost got that song that you guys were opening up to, yet pivoted quickly. Anyway, it's 2:01. It is time for our growth call, and we only have a short period of time to deliver some really good stuff to you. And today, Cassie, we have an amazing guest who we're going to interview really quickly for his experience from Keller Williams and beyond. So I am going to introduce to you, you guys, most of you probably already know who this is. Yet I'm going to introduce to you our regional director for Keller Williams New England. Anybody know who it is? Anybody? The one and only Nathan Dickey. So
Hi.
Nathan, welcome to our call. You're on almost every week anyway. Yet I asked you to be on this afternoon because you have such a great story of where you started and where you are right now in that in-between area. So I wanted to see if you could share a little bit of that with us and your growth. Okay. So let's start from, how did you get into real estate to begin with, and where did you start?
So I started as an investor when I was 19. I was in the car business, selling cars. And my father and grandfather were both real estate investors, and they said never rent. So I didn't. I bought a house with a buddy of mine. And I had a real estate agent who was kind of an idiot. And then then I had I bought an investment property, and I had a similar experience with a different real estate agent. And I was in sales, and I figured if they could do it, then I could do it. So I went and got my real estate license. And
how old were you when you got your real estate license?
I think it was 20. I think it was 21.
So 21,
maybe.
And you
I might have been 22 when I got my real estate license.
I was 22 when I got my real estate license. So you were 22 and you were already an investor. How many units did you own at that point?
I had a 4-unit building and a single family house.
Okay, so you got your license, and then what happened?
Then I went to work for Prudential at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the bigger agencies in New Hampshire, and I left. I was in a radio sales job that I was in for about 2 years in Portsmouth, and I left that to go do real estate. And I started part-time, and at the end of the first month, I went full-time. I had, I think I had 4 things under contract, because I had a pretty big network of people.
How did you get that network of people? Like, how did that build?
Yeah, I was on the road sales. So I was just business to business talking to everybody, and I'm a fairly social guy. So I was out a lot. So I was a young guy. When I was in radio, I worked for, one of my big clients was a distributor, a beer distributor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out, 5 nights a week, just meeting people and doing things. So it was, so I had a fairly large network in Portsmouth and Dover, and that paid a lot of dividends when I switched over to selling real estate. So.
Okay, so now you started real estate at Prudential, and what happened from there? What was you had 4 under contract in the first month, you said?
Yep. Yeah, I am. My second year, I was like top 5 in the company, and it was a company of, at the time, 70 agents, which was in New Hampshire huge. And then by the end of my second year, I was top 3. And I had a discussion with the owner who I really liked a lot, and just realized that we were philosophically different on a business standpoint. She was very much, people come here to learn, and then they go out on their own, or they go to Remax and do their own thing. And I thought that was ridiculous. So there was a lot of big producers in the town that started at the company I was at. And at that point, I decided to start looking at Remax, actually. And then if you study the Remax business model, for it to be a profitable business, you need, at the time, it was 18 to 20 people, all producing 8 to 10 million in volume, which isn't a lot. But at the time, that was a ton. There wasn't that many people. There were not that many people in the Seacoast that were producing that number that weren't either an owner of another company or tied into the owner somehow. So I looked at buying a Remax, and I just realized that it was like owning a job, not owning a business, and everyone knows the difference between owning a job and a business. And I accidentally found Keller Williams. And at the time, there was no Keller Williams, there was one Keller Williams in Portland, Maine, that had been open about a year, and there was a Keller Williams in down in Framingham, Mass. And Nashua had just opened, and Bedford was about the same. They opened a little after I did.
What year was this?
That was about 18 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm in my 18th year now, I think. The ROM could tell me if that's right or not. I don't know if that's correct or not. But yeah, so we opened with 11 people. I totally found Keller Williams by accident, and by today's standards, I would not have qualified to buy a Keller Williams franchise. So I kind of lucked out, and they took a chance on me. My ego was enormous at the time, because I was fairly successful at real estate. I had success in radio, and before that I had success in the car business. So I was like, oh, this is going to be no problem. Opening a Keller Williams franchise was the most humbling experience still to this day of my life. For those of you that don't know, when you open a Keller Williams, you're supposed to have 30 people signed up ready to go before you open. It's actually, we would require
40.
more now,
Yeah.
but back then that was what was required. I had 30 people, and when we opened, 11 showed up, and I love those 11. They were great, and I appreciate that they came, but they were not the right 11. They were not the high producing part of the group that said they were coming. So that was a big punch in the face. So I leaned into production hard to support the thing, getting it up and off the ground. And then we just worked at recruiting, and we thought we knew better. I thought I knew better than the model, than Gary. I was, I can figure this out. I'll be fine. And that didn't work. So I had to go back and embrace it, and really focus up and commit to it, and just recruit every day. My goal was to have 15 appointments a week, and I almost never got 15, but I pretty consistently could get 10. But 15 was always my goal. And then that was the goal that I set for the team leader too. And we just grinded out and hammered people, and got to the point where we could, make money, and sort of the rest is history. We've kind of always stuck to that.
So you went from a sales business that was successful to running a franchise that has become one of the top franchises in Keller Williams. So let me just give everybody a little background on that. And then I would love for you to dive into what your world looks like now. Like you said, you started as an investor, and I want you to tell us what it looks like now. But first, let me tell you, Nathan owns the Market Center up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and they have approaching 800 agents. So he just said that he started with 30, actually 11, and he is less than 20 years into building this company, and one of, if not it's the largest in the New England area, right?
The largest in New England, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not the largest.
Right. So almost 800 agents. And you know what? It's not about, the number of what he just said, of what he's bringing on. It's about how many lives he has changed while doing this in the last 18 years. I could speak for myself. I am one of them. When I came on as team leader in Newport, Rhode Island, I met Nate Dickey at a leadership meeting, and I literally felt like I was a magnet.
He's like, wow, this guy is full of himself. I hate this guy.
You know what? Not even close. It was the complete opposite of that. And that's what I loved. Yet he has built such an empire for not only his family, but for so many families. And somebody on here could be one of them. I am one of them, but he has built so much wealth beneath him. And that's what I think is so amazing with this story. So Nathan, tell us a little bit about what your world looks like right now from investor at 19, building a tremendous franchise. What does it look like on the outskirts as well?
Yeah, opening Keller Williams slowed down my investing. So that I'm kind of pretty focused in on that right now. I'm trying to get to the point where we're buying a property a month. So we're working towards an acquisition business that'll own and operate lots and lots of properties. But we're about 53 buildings at this point. And the units, I'm not sure what the actual unit count is, but it's a significant unit count. We own a property management company that manages those units. That company employs 15 people. This company employs 27 people on staff. What else can I tell you about that? We've got a couple of other projects in house that we're working on for some other businesses, but real estate acquisition is kind of what still is super fun for me. I like doing it. I like teaching people how to do it.
I don't want you to skip over that really quickly, because I think that's where this golden nugget is that you have taught so many people to do this for themselves, where they weren't able to do it on their own or think that they could do it.
Well, it's not, I mean, success is cool. And I'm certainly not the most, there's a lot of people that I look up to in the region and at this company, and a lot of agents that are, blow me away every day, and I learn from them. I think, two things that are super important. One, you have to commit to what you're going to do, and you have to commit to a set of actions that are pretty basic. For me, they have to be really basic, like I do a few things every day. And then that kind of leads you to success. That's your kind of foundation for what's getting you, to the next thing. And then I think, and I can share what that is in a minute, but, and then success is kind of boring if you're not doing it with people. So I try to bring, this company has grown, and, I've had some people that started working for me at $30,000 and are making, hundreds of thousands now, and it's a process that, we grow. The opportunity is there for them. They take part in it, or they work really hard and they get awarded the next thing, and they get to grow with you. So the challenge becomes, as a leader, is if I want to keep these people in my life, I have to stay ahead of them, or at least on pace with them. So I have to be able to grow and keep creating opportunities for these people. So I'm always on the hunt for the next opportunity for either myself or someone else to come with me on, whether it's a building or a condo, a new business. We're looking at a business now that's automotive that we're probably, with some real estate that we're probably going to buy. Because for those of you that know me, I'm a antique car nerd. So that's a hobby of mine. So this just kind of operating business with good management sort of fell in my lap, and I think we may end up trying to buy it. So, but that and that'll create more opportunities for people in the bookkeeping side of my world, and create legacy opportunities for them. So I think that's probably is that what were you fishing
Yeah,
for?
no, I mean, that's the most important piece here. And there's, about 60 of us on this call, and we're not all in leadership, yet you are a leader of your business. So what are you doing to create the legacy around you and people that you are building up? So I think that's the biggest thing, Nate, that I keep hearing from your world and what you're doing, is how many people you're able to change lives with and for, because of what you're creating. They're able to create their own vision and own path and own investment opportunities with the help of your guidance and showing them how to do it.
Yeah, so a few things that we do. So if every one of my staff is forced to meet with a financial planner. Now, they don't have to use the financial planner, but you're forced to meet with one.
Guys,
and you do that on my time.
Sorry,
So
write this stuff down.
What was that? Yeah,
I'm
so
telling everybody to take their notebooks out.
Right, so that's something for someone in your world. You want to do the things that show them that you care about them, and that is me, Karen. One of the things that I think is super important. A lot of people don't have insurance squared away. They don't have life insurance for themselves. If you have children and you have no life insurance, that's irresponsible. So we try to have conversations about that with people. So that comes from the financial planning meeting. and I'm not in that meeting unless they ask me to be. I've sat in a couple. I don't typically, that's not where I need to be. It's more me making sure that you get in the meeting. And then when I see you in the hallway, I say, hey, did you get something set up? And if you say no, then I'm on you pretty hard all the time. Because if you're financially stable, it does two things. It makes you more open to different opportunities that we can come up with. And it also makes you a more stable employee and a better employee. So it's a twofold thing. Beyond that, we like to encourage people to invest in real estate, of course, and we have a program here where you can invest in real estate with your commission, and where employees can partner with an agent, and an agent will give them the majority of their commission to do a deal for their first house. So we've got that worked out, because I want everyone to own real estate. I think it's certainly one of the safest and best ways to build wealth. And we try to make the work experience here better all the time, whether it be adding a benefit, vacation time, money. We try to do what we can to make it, to always improve it. More leverage, to make it your job easier, which sometimes is really hard because we're growing businesses and sometimes there's not enough money to do those things. So you got to get a little creative. So that's one of the ways we tie the people in. And I like to think that I pay pretty well so that, we don't have high turnover. And a lot of my people that are in executive positions started somewhere else in the role. My productivity coach started as an agent. He started as a customer, then an agent. Now he's a productivity coach and arguably one of the best in the system. My team leader, same thing. My MCA started on the front desk answering the phones, and now she's a CFO of this company and oversees another business we have. And so she's had some great opportunity as well. My executive assistant owns some real estate with me and has been tied into a couple of other businesses, has a share in our management company. So there's a lot of different opportunities that get created. The bigger you get, you get to create more opportunities. And I try to offer stuff up a lot, and people don't always take you up on it, which is fine. But it's important to let everyone know that the opportunity is there. And then that creates more opportunity, which kind of is a self-perpetuating thing.
Yeah, I like your story is pretty amazing, and we could go on for a long time about how many people that you've helped build up. Yet we don't have time because we have to share content today still.
Right.
So thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I try to boil it down to like one or two things. So every day I look at my assistant Camille pulls the MLS data that I want to see every day. So I look at every multifamily that comes up in the market in New Hampshire. I look at condos up to a certain price point, and there's a couple of towns that I watch a little more specifically, but and every piece of commercial real estate that comes on in the state. And I look at that every day, no matter what. If I'm not at work, it gets emailed to me, it gets texted to me, because texts I look at more than I look at email. I don't look at email. For those of you that know me, if you send me an email, you will get responded to. It just won't be right away. I have someone else do that. That was one of the first things I leveraged off, because you can get sort of buried in the quagmire of email. Giggity, quagmire. Anybody? No? Okay. Cassie got it. She laughed. So that I think it's super important to do that every day. That's the one thing that I do every day to make sure that I'll take and I can go through the list and analyze things that I want to see, look a little bit deeper in. And then we try to make an offer every couple of weeks on something. As we get busier and busier, by the end of this year, I hope to close on end of next year. I hope to close on 12 new things. Which we'll see how that goes. But I think I'll get there.
You will. You set some hefty goals that you guys hit really.
The other thing we try to do is we try to accelerate pay everything off. So we try to get really the only debt that I really carry is debt around buildings that is paying itself off. The company does pay for my truck, but beyond that, I don't really have a lot of debt floating around. That's not either invested in a business. And then as far as mortgages, we try to make an extra payment a year. So everything we have, we pay 13 payments on, even the stuff I have with partners. 13 payments, 20% down to 25% down. So we're not super high leverage, and we try to get 6 months for cash reserves in the bank, which makes us pretty stable. So that's and we're not there on everything that I own, but we're working towards that always. And then we have other investments and other things. But I think it's super important to have that, be able to first square yourself away so that you can square the people that are around you and are away. And you got to generally want to do it. Like a lot of people say they want to help the people around them, and then they don't. Like you have the opportunity in your real estate business to change someone's life. Start with one person. But if you don't, if you don't really care about them, then don't fake it, because it shows up, and it's not going to ultimately help you or them. Like you got to really love the people that you're tuned into and that you want to help and that you're working with. If I didn't like what I'm doing, I'd stop doing it. I still like it. I still enjoy it. I get to work with Cassie and Jen, which is awesome. And I think that, as long as that's still fun for me, then I'm going to keep doing this.
Well, Nate, thank you so much. I think you've shared quite a bit about investing and what you're doing in your world. So I really appreciate you being on here. I know you have such a busy schedule. I will see you tomorrow in Austin. Safe travels, my friend.
We'll be there. See you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys.
Bye, guys. See ya.
We only have less than 10. We have about 8 minutes to go through some content. So we're gonna fly through it. Cassie, will you share the screen and we'll go through what we have for them this week? And here's the stuff, guys. Here's everything you need for this week. Social media. You have a full social media guide from KWRI that you could just click this link right here. And it has all of the December engagements for social media through KWRI. Yet on top of that, we did create 3 social media templates, I guess we could call them. I don't know, graphics. We'll call it 3 social media graphics for you to use in your business as well. So we're going to fly through those, Cassie, because we have to give you something at the end of the call, right? So we're giving away, should I tell them what we're giving away or wait till the end?
Wait till the end.
Okay, we're going to wait until the end. So you got to be here to win, so you can't leave. All right. So your Tuesday social media graphic is a little December home maintenance tips. And this is always something good to send out, especially at the end of the year, to remind your friends group what to do at the end of December. Now, the one that made me chuckle was the bottom one, clean and organize all guest rooms. And the reason that made me laugh is because I need to do that. Like that is absolutely something I need to do, because you never know when a holiday surprise guest happens. So thank you for the reminder of this graphic. Cassie, anyone in there that you have to do? None.
I will say those are more on Nico's to-do list for the month.
Oh,
I am the cleaner and organizer of the house though, so I do have a couple guest room beds that need to be made up right now.
Same. All right. Moving on from that one, we have our Wednesday. I believe it's our vocabulary. Yep, real estate vocabulary Wednesday. And it talks about what a due diligence period is. Anybody, just curious, how many of you, it's the first time hearing of a due diligence period? Cassie, and a couple others. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The vocabulary is not only for our friends group, but it's for us as well, to be able to have this real estate vocabulary, to be able to speak of it when people ask you how the market's doing. So here is your due diligence period. It's the time after signing a contract that the buyer has to inspect the property and make a decision whether they want to buy the property or lease the property or otherwise go forward with the transaction. Now, in your state, it might be called a contingency or other things, but it is always a due diligence period. So just a little vocabulary for you. Okay, let's go on to our Thursday, this or that. And too bad that Nathan got off, because he is a big skier, so I know what he would select here. But you could see your Thursday post is a this or that Thursday, and it's skiing or snowboarding. So I'd love to see in the chat, what do you pick? A or B? All you have to put is A or B in the chat. And I'm going to put C, hot chocolate in the lodge. That's me. I will be in the lodge with my feet up, at the fireplace with a nice hot chocolate. C. All right, I got some C's with me. Should have put a C. Next time. Next time.
Chocolate, though, you know?
All right. All right. I got a lot more.